Cheap Sex is a political band from San Diego. When I left the Virus, I moved to San Diego, and about a year or so later, I met people, and we formed the band Cheap Sex. Basically, the history behind the band is our first show, Cheap Sex's first show, was actually with the Virus, strangely enough, in San Diego, and we started the band. We really weren't quite sure it was going to take off. We were doing it for fun. And the Virus at the time were on Punkcore Records. And I was talking to Dave from Punkcore Records, and he said, send me some songs. Let me hear what you guys are doing now. Pretty much, right after Cheap Sex formed, we went in the studio and recorded, 4 or 5 songs. And I sent them to Dave, and he really liked it. And Jared from the Virus, put in a good word for me, and Virus sold really well for him, and he really liked the songs. So he said, okay, you guys have a deal for 3 records. So, shortly thereafter, we started getting shows with like 999, Anti-Nowhere League, pretty much every fucking band you could think of. And our first album came out about 10 months after the band started, and we're now on our second album. It just came out about a month ago.
This song is about racism. This one's called False Pride.
I grew up in Philly, and at the time, I was just it was maybe 1986, around there. Going to skateboard demos. There was a skateboard shop called Spike Skates on South Street in Philadelphia, and they used to do a contest called Philly Freeze Contest, and basically all the big skateboarders at the time, like a lot of the guys on Vision skateboards, Santa Cruz skateboards, like some of the older skate companies, all the pro skaters would come down and skate in Philadelphia this outdoor contest, and they used to have bands play at the contest, and local Philly bands would play. And this one year, Black Flag and MDC played the contest, and I had never been to a punk rock show. But the tie between skateboarding and punk rock at the time were like synonymous. Like the two just went together. You didn't have fucking kids in baggy pants listening to rap music, talking like they were fucking, rappers. It was just punk rock and skateboarding. And, I went over and watched the band play. I was a little kid, 12, 13-year-old kid, and I just never saw anything like it in my life. Like everything in my life was bullshit until I saw that. That was it. I mean, it was just so fucking real, and I felt like the bands were speaking to me, like someone finally said what I've been thinking and feeling but couldn't put into words quite yet. And that was it. From that day on, I went to every show that came through town. I started buying the music. I started trying to find out about bands. There was no internet. There was no fucking downloading MP3s. You had to really seek it out. And luckily I found some older kids that kind of like, made tapes for me and kind of showed me, like, introduced me to bands, and it just became my whole fucking life. That's it. I think punk rock is different. I think that a lot of the older people that I grew up with have come and gone. A lot of people think that, when you finish school and you get a job, you kind of have to stop doing what you love doing. You got to have kids. You got to, move on to the next phase of your life. I never believed that. I got the job and finished school and stuff, but kind of never changed. But a lot of the younger kids today, they get into punk either through MTV maybe, or they see it in the mall, or it's cute. You can be cute and go to high school and be popular and be punk. And because of that, a lot of kids kind of get out of it really quick because they never really, it doesn't mean as much to these kids these days, I don't think, as it meant to the kids years ago, when you couldn't be cool and be a punk. You couldn't get laid, very hard to get laid and be punk. You're certainly not going to be popular in high school and be punk. You're not going to turn on MTV and see it. You're not going to find it in a record store. I mean, I think it's changed. Do I think it's dead? No. I still think that there's good things in it. I think that it can still inspire kids to open their eyes and give kids an outlet of things to say. But if you really want me to be honest with you, I think it's very different. It's very different. And that's my opinion. It's bigger than it used to be, so I guess that's good. You have more kids at your shows. You also have a lot younger kids, and it's a little different. how do I feel about punk becoming more commercialized? Well, punk was there was in the 70s. Punk became commercial then as well. You had bands playing like small scale. You had like a lot of the Killed by Death bands, or the real obscure 70s bands that no one really kind of caught on to. And then you had the larger scale bands like Generation X was on a major label. In the 80s you had Vice Squad, they were on a major label. Certainly the Sex Pistols, the Buzzcocks, all these bands were. I just think that a lot of people don't put that on the same boat as a band like Good Charlotte and Blink 182, because there was no MTV, and also because back then it was a new thing. So these were like guys who were setting the standards for what we're doing now, and they were original for what they were doing. But for bands these days who are just kind of replaying what's been done over and over again, not saying that we don't, we are certainly just following the footsteps of things that were done before us, but these guys are doing it on MTV, making tons of money on it. I think it sucks. I think it's fucking bullshit. I think that you can get your message out to a wide audience, and you can have your say without doing deodorant commercials, and without doing having your theme song played at sporting events and all these other kinds of things. Posing for Teen Beat magazine, and I disagree with it. I don't like it at all. I think that it makes a mockery out of what punk rock really is, and it certainly makes a mockery out of anything that I stand for. I think politics have a place in punk for some bands. I don't think all bands are political, nor do I think they should be. There's a place for everything. I choose to be in a band that sings about politics because that's what I'm interested in for myself. I like to read the newspapers. I like to, read the publications, and I like to kind of get involved with things that I think are fucked up and try to do something about it. The way I deal with it is I try to get my ideas across through music. I also try to get my ideas across through my writing. There's a lot of ways to do things. I don't think all bands are political, nor should they be. I mean, you should sing about whatever you want to sing about, whether it's about a girl, or skateboarding, or politics, or hairdos. I mean, there's bands that do that too, and they're good at it. I mean, I'd feel like a retard singing about my hair, everyone's different. My lyrics are motivated by what's going on in the world, in the news. When I write lyrics, I usually throw a notepad on the table, turn on the news, and start jotting down phrases and ideas of things that I feel. One of the style that I have in my lyrics is I write about things that are actually going on today. Like a lot of the political bands, they write in real general terms like war is bad, or death is a nightmare, or nightmare continues, or whatever. Real general. My style is like I'll take something that's going on, like right now, like on our new album we have Cheap Sex, my new band, have a song called Rape by the FCC. And so we're singing about the FCC and what's going on today with like stifling people like Howard Stern, or freedom of speech issues that are going on right now. Dixie Chicks, I don't like the band, but their records were pulled out of record stores because they spoke against President Bush. I mean, there's a real problem with freedom of speech in this country today. And if nothing changes, or we just sit back kind of like the way people sat back during the Nazi era, or things like this, then we're going to find out we don't have any left. And that's my style of writing, is to write about things going on today, actual events, not speaking in generalities, but what's going on right now. That's how I write my lyrics.
guitar. Jason, I play bass.
Justin play guitar and lead vocals.
Aaron, I play drums.
Long story.
It's kind of a long story. Justin and I met through like our previous bands. Both of our bands broke up. He said, dude, move to California, help me start this band. I said, okay.
Where'd you live before?
I lived in Oklahoma. Yeah. So Jess and I started the band, and then we met Josiah through a mutual friend. Had a different drummer at first, but Justin always knew Aaron. After our other drummer left, Aaron took over. You know, we more than respect each other, you know what I mean? Like, I consider all these guys to be like my brothers, you know? And like, it's hard being in a band, you know? It's not always fun and games, you know? It's like, you gotta put a lot of work towards it. And I'm with these guys more than I'm with my girlfriend or my real family, you know what I mean? And like, that's not always easy, you know? But I know that I'm doing this for a reason and I'm supposed to be doing it, you know? And it's because we have that unity with each other that we can continue to do it, and that we're going to continue to do it for as long as we possibly
So you guys tour a lot. How do you guys manage keeping jobs and relationships and basically having a normal life at home?
Very carefully. It's a lot of work.
it's a lot of work.
That's one of them with the relationship.
We get cool jobs that kind
In
of.
other words, Justin's still available.
I don't know. It's cool. I'm married, so I'm not really worried.
Yeah, he's not worried about it.
But we have bills to pay and stuff, so.
I have a girlfriend and Aaron has a girlfriend.
Yeah, touring is not free. Just to let you guys know that. Hey, dude, what do you mean?
One time, Josiah and I were driving. We had this big, like, Ford RV thing, and
by the way, we're not rich.
Yeah.
It was an old RV that was crap.
It was a Winnebago, wasn't it?
No, it was a Ford, like, piece of crap. It's like falling apart every 2 seconds, and like Josiah and I were driving after a show in Texas, and like I was driving, and like he's on the phone, and then all of a sudden, the whole RV just tilts to this side. I'm like, what the heck? So I pull over and get out, and like the RV was a dually, but on the driver's side, both rear wheels and tires were gone. It was just a rotor dug into the pavement, and we were like.
It was like 4 in the morning. We were like,
how did these two tires just decide to fly off? They're just gone.
And we couldn't find them.
I jump up, I wake up, I look out the backside, I go, our tires are gone, and I went back to bed. We broke down like 17 times.
We broke down on that
tank?
trip.
Every single state.
We broke down in every single state from California to Florida.
You lost a gas tank too, didn't you?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that was in
North
Carolina. That was another tour. We were
There's
on
like
the
a mile-long trail of gas where the gas tank was dragging on the ground, and then we get out and there's a puddle like 20 feet long around this deep of gasoline just poured everywhere.
Our roadie gets out and just lights up a cigarette. Like nothing's going on. We're like, bro, there's gas everywhere.
A tree branch fell through our trailer when it got hit by lightning.
Yeah, actually, you
it
can
broke
see.
off
Yeah, if you want.
and fell through the top of our trailer.
Yeah, like literally lightning
We'll go
struck
overlook
it.
that in a minute.
Yeah, lightning struck the tree branch and it fell through our trailer. Luckily, none of our equipment was in there.
Actually, the first thing I ever bought was Snoop Dogg.
The first real rock band I ever got into was like Queen Greatest Hits. I got that when I was like in first grade or something. Like,
I got my dad's Black Sabbath tape.
yeah, I'm all about AC/DC. Motorhead.
My parents listened to jazz.
Aaron lived in Long Beach and he didn't know anything about punk.
I didn't know anything about punk till I was like in 7th grade and I went to junior high because all I did was listen to rap with my hip hop friends.
First albums I got were Sepultura and Black Sabbath.
You got-
Chaos AD.
Is punk still relevant after so long? It's almost 30 years now.
Relevant?
Was it ever relevant?
I don't know.
I don't even know if it ever was relevant. I think
It's
it was
fun.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, it's chaotic and that's cool. You know, but like as far as relevancy goes, like, the world would still be here if punk rock didn't exist. But fortunately, it does.
I think punk changed a lot of things for the music.
Yeah, the world wouldn't be here if it
I
wasn't
think it
for
changed a
punk.
lot of things for rock and roll because if you look in the direction it was going for punk, you know,
Dude, every band
It was
nowadays
going-
rips from punk.
it was going weird, you know, and I think they just wanted to get it back down to the basics, you know, with the Ramones and stuff like that.
Indie rock is wannabe freaking 77 punk that couldn't make it. That's all it is.
Ooh,
Ooh, I don't know about that.
scalding.
And all these hardcore bands that are really metal, but they say they're hardcore, that sucks too.
And then they make fun of real metal bands that rule.
Roots.
Metal
that transfer?
is
We have a
like a big
lot of
influence.
Yeah, it totally
Except for me.
Except for Aaron.
Yes, but he's
I can hear the
lying.
jazz
He
in
likes
there.
metal.
I like
He has
metal.
more metal
He
CDs
I hate
than all of
Metallica
us.
though.
He won't admit that
Metallica
his roots are
rules.
metal.
I hate
Metallica.
Our roots are AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, Black Sabbath,
Motley Crue.
all the metal stuff we really like, but punk, you know, like definitely.
Butt
GBH,
punk? No, it's all
Discharge.
about punk.
It's not butt punk.
All right, it's all
Broken
It's all about butt
Bones.
punk.
Broken Bones, one of my favorites.
Girls' School, Eddie and the Hot Rods.
I only like 77 stuff. I hate fast punk.
He's a liar.
But I do like 77 stuff.
This is great.
Songs, and if you like us, you do.
Like
if
us
you
for
don't,
what
you
you like.
don't. And you know what? We kept doing it, and after like almost 3 years, people have almost like quit hating us.
And you know,
we never came out to say, hey, look at us, we're something better than you or anything like that.
It's not even like that.
We all wanted to be in a band, and we all wanted to do it. We all had
We all
our own
think the
beliefs.
same.
Just like you have your own beliefs, we have our own.
Like
and
if
you agree
the
with us,
Havoc,
that's
if
cool.
all of us were Buddhist, nobody'd be like, dude, the Havoc, they're fucking freaking retards because they're Buddhist. Or
Yeah.
if we were Jewish or
what if we were-
Muslim
what
or
if we were
something.
satanic?
Like
You
Jew
know, what would
Driver?
anyone say? There's a million satanic bands, metal bands from the 80s, and
Yeah.
no one cares.
Yeah, they're
they
just
think
like,
it's just like, oh, it's
they're like,
funny.
yeah, Satan.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Come on.
whatever. I mean,
Give it a
it's
chance.
It doesn't matter if you believe something. Like whatever anyone else says isn't gonna change it. So.
yeah, that's our personal belief, and we don't intend on changing that. You know, if others want to know, we don't mind sharing it either. But we're not out to shove it down anybody's throat. You know, because that's not cool. You know, I don't want somebody that's you know, whatever shoving their beliefs down my throat. That's not cool. You know, if that's their opinion, that's great. You know what I mean? And like I respect that. You know, but don't try and force it on me and make me feel like I'm just a complete loser, you know, because I don't think the same way you do. That's kind of fascist.
We're complete losers for like totally different reasons.
I think that people, when they think about like religion or Christian, they think of like people on Channel 40 who are like gonna push you over.
Isn't Channel 40
like,
BET?
whatever,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but you know, we just want to like look at we're like real people, you know, like it isn't all about that. So